Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope you're doing right, because it's time for the predictions video. Yes, just a few hours ago, all of these skins rotated into the Rust store, and basically we're going to go ahead and try and figure out which of these skins potentially might be a nice investment for this week, which of these skins potentially might give us some of that sweet, delicious looking profit. So this is the April Force White, and I understand maybe a lot of you are not very super enthusiastic, super ecstatic. I'm sure many of you were probably hoping for the likes of the Legacy Kevlar jacket, or potentially the flashbacks, Tier 2 or Tier 3, and it didn't happen. And you're probably feeling really bad. But don't worry, there is one last hope. One last hope. What might that be? So, you should first of all be aware, in regards to flashbacks, it took 2 attempts for the hoodie and pants to be accepted. But to further go ahead with the likes of this cope, well, if we can just go back to the past, to last year, do you remember what happened in May of 2023? I'll remind you, we had Most Wanted and Complete the Sets in May. Now that was a surprise, we never had it at that time before, but the main point is, do you reckon we might have it again next month? It's just a month away, yep. So if it does happen again, we'll probably have another Most Wanted. And just to clarify what Most Wanted was, all of these were skins that had a lot of support on the Rust Workshop but weren't accepted. So loads of votes, subscriptions, you get the idea. And of course, Complete the Sets are many collection continuations that weren't accepted, but then perfect time for that. So we're very likely going to be seeing a lot of skins that were submitted in the past but weren't accepted. And well, what do we see here? Whiteout, Military, Arctic Skull, Banana, From Hell, Frog Cosplay. Very notable collections back then, but now, maybe flashbacks, maybe Legacy Kevlar, maybe some more Thundergold, who knows, but it could happen. But we don't have a definitive answer just yet, so as we get closer and closer to May time, we'll know about it around then, surely. So that's the last bit of cope that you could potentially have. I'm sorry to say it in such a way, but it's still something, so maybe don't unload all of your flashback stock onto the Steam market like many people already have. There's no need to panic sell. Right, let's jump in. Which of these skins potentially looks to be one of the best investments for this week? This week, sorry. My brain. I'm old now, so don't worry. I just had my birthday 2 days ago. Right, Shadowborn Sheet Metal Door. Right. This is proving to be very, very interesting. Why? Well, first of all, we just immediately got a second Shadowborn skin accepted after the first one, and that sold very, very nicely. When I did my 48 analysis about 5 days ago, I thought that was going to round up to about 23,000 sales. Obviously, a few more have gone past it. I was correct on all of these other ones, but not that one. This proved to get a little bit more interest. Lots of people did appreciate it, and it looks like face punches as well. But there's an interesting detail that I've noticed. Number one, if I just go to the likes of Mr. Micro's very helpful Rust Workshop website, I will link this in the description so you can see this for yourself. Click the workshop, and I can see all of the skins here. I can just hover and see a quick glimpse, a quick preview of all of them. I can see the votes, I can see the WSkin links, I can see who made them. It's very easy to navigate. So if I just quickly go ahead and search the likes of Shadow, there you go, Shadowborn, all of them there. We skipped Double Door. The only early pick this week was Shadowborn Sheet Metal Door. So if I look at all of these skins here for the previous week's batch of skins that are submitted, as you can see, no other early pick. All of the other skins that are accepted in today's Rust store, they are all typical picks. The skins you'd see in TGG's top picks list. So that happened. So I kind of get the feeling maybe the double doors aren't going to be accepted for a while. So if you happen to own any double door skins, that's a little bit reassuring. But talking specifically about Shadowborn, with the sheet metal door being accepted today, the garage door, that spiked in demand and that went up very high in price. So we were talking about that a little bit with the abnormal barter stream last night, but you know, it happened and it's doing good. And will it stay at that $9 price? I don't think so. I think it will probably calm down a bit. When more people have the ability to sell theirs, and 26,000 people did, I'm pretty sure we're going to probably round up to maybe about 100 quantity. Maybe it sticks at around $5 to $6, but people are liking it, and we are expecting more skins to be produced. And I can confirm Mr. Vase and Mr. Cubist are working on another skin. It very likely will be appearing this weekend, but by default, you should be prepared. You should be keeping an eye on the likes of the workshop just in case. So right now, we're not really here to talk about the garage door. We're here to talk about the sheet metal door. But if all the skins, are doing well, then, all the better support for the likes of this. So we are expecting more and potentially more and more. But we have been in this position before, so this is a bit of a negative. Unfortunately, Vase has been in a position where he was producing some very, very, very cool looking deplorable skins. Remember the porcelain collection? I must have mentioned this so many times last week, but I really have to get the point across. There was a ton of support for this. There was a ton of interest in this last year, but then it kind of fell flat because we only ended up with 2 extra skins, didn't we? So whilst this obviously it suffered. Will the same fate affect the likes of Shadowborn? So as I said, we are expecting more Shadowborn skins to be produced. But maybe this skipped the queue, or rather skipped ahead to the sheet metal double door, because it's referencing the minigun there. And that does look cool. That's an awesome piece of artwork. So props to you, Mr. Vase and Mr. Cubist. But sheet metal doors, here's another thing. So I'm going back and forth with the positives and the negatives and the positives and negatives. This is a negative. Look at all the sheet metal doors that came out this year. We're 13, 14 weeks into the year. We've got 11 skins already. Last year, we had 30 in total for 2023. The year before that, I think it was 27. Let's go remind myself. 28, yeah. We're going to see so much more sheet metal doors being produced and released later this year. And Twitch drops maybe. Let's not rule out that. So this is a cool-looking glow-in-the-dark door, selling at $3 a piece. But if you've seen all those sheet metal doors in the past, over the past year or so, I don't think we have a single sheet metal door that's in the positive. But could things be different for the likes of this? Will the support remain strong? Will this still sell well? We shall see. Now, how many sales will this potentially reach? Because it's been a good several hours since the Rust store rotated. It's already done over bare minimum 7,000 sales. This potentially could be worrisome. Why? Well, at the rate we're seeing this sell at, it's already surpassing the momentum that the garage door had. So we'll keep an eye on this. I'm a little bit worried about that. I get the feeling this might be pushing towards the likes of 30,000 sales by the end of next week, or rather next Thursday. So if that's the case, that might be a problem. But in-demand skins or in-demand collections, they can sell crazy and still work out very nicely. So, yeah. So looking at the state of that, there's a lot of positives, but I don't feel the need to rush in and buy it as an investment. If you like it, by all means, buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creators, keep them motivated, keep wanting to put out very nice creative designs in the future. But in terms of if I want to buy 100 of them to try and sell them later down the line for a profit, I think I'd rather wait till Wednesday. It's abnormal. I'm sure you understand my process by now. I'd rather be patient than jump in, because I get the feeling it might sell a little bit too much, and that of course would be a bit of a bad problem, wouldn't it? Yep. So if it becomes oversaturated, it very likely will be going below its Rust store price. But if we do get that support, if we do get a new skin being submitted this weekend, with the possibility of that being accepted the very next Rust store, we shall see. But it might not be accepted immediately next week. It might appear 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, who knows? But more deplorable skins being accepted for the deplorable collection. The pre-existing deplorable skins are expected to spike in demand and spike in price, which is exactly what happened today with the garage door. So congratulations to everyone who bought a bunch of them. I hope you enjoy the profits. I would probably try and list it and sell it right now, but we'll see what happens next. Right, so Shadowborn sheet metal door is looking more in regards to being a positive investment. What about these other skins? What else can we see from here? Now, by default, Chameleon Tier 3. I know a lot of people are going to sit here and say it's shiny, that might potentially be a problem, but it's still the very first core piece to be accepted for this set. So I'm just going to do this 2 times speed. It might look a bit silly, but I just want to kind of show it all off. So nice and shiny, you get to be the green Power Ranger, that's cool, or a Bionicle, whichever you so choose. Feel free to comment which one you prefer, but it is shiny, and is that what people are going to want to have? It does look very cool with the shine, but is that a positive? Feel free to comment. But one thing I will say, it doesn't matter. If we do see more core pieces, if we see tier 2, if we see tier 2 or hoodie and pants, that will still spike in demand, spike in price. Yes, it will. We literally just had the likes of Cyber last week, and let me tell you, nobody cared for Cyber collection. And then the hoodie and pants are accepted, suddenly it goes up in price. It's always going to happen. Even for very low demand skin sets, it will still spike in demand. But with the likes of Chameleon, it's been doing very good over the past year or so. Of course, it was mainly consisting of weapons, but with this being accepted today, that's gone up in price, that's gone up in price, things are improving for it. And if we do see more and more of the likes of the core pieces, so hoodie and pants and tier 2, maybe these weapons actually might rebound very, very nicely and all end up in the positive. So it's not just this, you might want to look at these skins as well. Anyway, as I said, by default, if we do see the other core pieces, you can expect this to go up ever so nicely. Normally, with the first core piece, this being the tier 3 armor, it's going to have tier 2 or hoodie and pants appearing maybe next week or 2 weeks' time. And then after that, maybe hoodie and pants or tier 2 after that, whichever order, it doesn't matter. 2 more batches of core pieces after this means 2 potential chances of spiking in demand and spiking in price. It could go up in price very, very nicely. But where's it going to land at? Where's it going to end up at? I don't know. I need to keep an eye on the amount of sales it's going to reach. It's selling for $2 a piece, which isn't exactly cheap. But we'll see. So 4,000, almost 5,000 sales so far, bare minimum. I will just point this out. If you're going to sit there and say, oh, do you really think he's actually going to do it? Yeah, it's Mr. Milho Frito. He's been around for 9 years making skins non-stop. He's the guy that made the Tempered collection. He's been making tons and tons and tons of charity skins, sets, you name it. You got Ladybug there, you got Camouflage there, you got Gingerbread there, you got Tempered, as I said. This man don't stop. He will be making the rest of this set for sure. And you wait. Deplorables at some point as well, I'm sure as well. So that I'm optimistic for. All right. So shall we move on to the next thing? Well, what else could we potentially look forward to? I will sit here and say Thundergold Double Barrel Shotgun. The Thundergold weapons that have come out somewhat recently are doing very well. Let me elaborate. Most AKs that have come out over the past year or so are in the negative. Most SAR skins that have come out somewhat recently over the past year or so are in the negative, but not these two. They have held up very nicely. So if I just quickly go over to here and look at the likes of AK-47s, what do you see? Well, that's doing... Oh, well, that's doing all right now because we've got a continuation. But there you go. That's doing pretty sweet right there. That only just became marketable today. As I scroll down, do we have any other AKs that are in a positive? Not really, except the obviously nice and bright and pink Kiss AR. So as you can see, the vast majority of AKs that we had over the past year, they went down bad. But it's very rare to see certain AKs doing well, and that did all right, but it didn't sell that much. Now I'm going to look over to the likes of SAR skins, because what do we see of the likes of SAR skins? Well, most of them are in the negative, except that one. Now this just became marketable, so we can't really count that one, but yeah, scroll down, what do we see? Do I see another SAR skin that was in the positive? You've got Blackout, but that was like 2 years ago, so that's a bit further back, but yeah, as you can see, pretty much every single SAR skin that came out in 2023 is currently in the negative. So that's doing okay, but it also didn't sell that much. I get the feeling the trend that we saw with the AK and the SAR very likely will be happening to the double barrel shotgun as well. So let's just go take a look at all the double barrel shotgun skins that we've seen appear over the past year or so. Yeah, it's basically emulating exactly what we just saw with the others. So I get the feeling this probably won't be selling that much, probably end up at around 10,000 sales. Maybe it might be a little bit more, but it's still close. The AK did 13. So $2.49, will that potentially end up in a positive? Well, Thundergold's been doing perfectly fine. It's been going up in price a bit, it's been going down in price a bit, it goes up and down, but it's always sticking to around its rust or price. And now that we're out of the likes of the Easter dip, yep, it appears we're out of it now, the worst of the Easter time price dips, this seems to be steering towards the positive, and with the likes of us getting closer to the summertime, which is expected to have a lot of people playing, summer vacation for kids and whatnot, loads of people playing the game, loads of people demanding skins, prices improve. So things are looking positive for Thundergold as a whole, and well, if people are going to be using the armour and whatnot, maybe they're going to be wanting to use the weapons. And they do look good, so we have to respect that. So I get the feeling, whilst I've seen many double barrel shotguns appear over the past year not performing very well, I think this can be the exception. I feel positive. So I understand there still can potentially be some problems, but I was fairly hesitant with the likes of the AK and the SAR, but I still bought like 30 or 50. I can't remember how many I bought, but I bought them, and they're doing good. I made a profit. Might not be a huge profit, but as we steer towards the summer, as I said, can't help but assume it's going to only get better. So that Thundergold double barrel shotgun, if you're not 100% sure, just wait until Wednesday. Abnormal barders first. It's not too hard to understand. You know the Hedge rule by now, so that is looking interesting. What else is looking somewhat interesting? I'm also going to mention the Blocky Cargo Box. So with the likes of this, it really does look like we're slowly developing towards the likes of a blocky deplorable collection with each different skin representing a different monument. So of course we have the oil rig, this time we have cargo, and I know for sure Mr. Keka did mention the likes of a lighthouse sheep door. So there are going to be more skins being produced. They glow in the dark, they stand out quite nicely, very unique design. If we do see more deplorable skins for this deplorable collection, of course you would expect the pre-existing deplorable skins to spike in demand and spike in price. So as I look over to the likes of the garage door, has that improved today? And the answer is yes, it's bounced back up into the positive. So this had like 60 listings earlier, they got bought out, price has gone back up above its rust door price. There you go. So things are looking optimistic for it, but we've got to keep an eye on the workshop and see what potentially appears. And if you don't want to look at the workshop like this, if you don't have a followed authors list set up, please consider using the likes of Mr. Micro's website right here. It will show all of the submissions. You just have to click here and job done. You're there. You can see it all. So the options available to you. Let's see what happens next. $2.49. Bit pricey. Maybe it won't sell that much. Maybe. But we have to take this into consideration. All the large box skins that we've seen over the past year or so, the vast majority of them not exactly doing super great. We have to acknowledge that, we do. But we'll see what happens next, all right? If we want to play it smart, wait till Wednesday. Abnormal Barders first. You understand the rules. So all the skins that I mentioned, I would probably sit there and say I put them in order in terms of how I feel confident with them. But all the other skins that are left, I'm a bit not sure. Let's put it that way. So let's talk about Craboo Boonie Hat. This is goofy. This is silly. But I get the feeling it's selling far too much. So we don't really see a ton of Boonie Hats. But I will sit here and say this. Every single Boonie Hat skin that we see here, bar the Wildrum one technically, or the Twitch drops, I'll say the Twitch drops, all of them except the Twitch drops, right? They are, all of these, right? They're all part of collections. Sorry, I stammered there. They're all part of collections. This right here, it's all by itself. Curse collection, Frog Cosplay collection, Pirate collection, Sweet Treat collection, we got the Pizza collection, Fisherman Hat came in a set. All of these, I believe, are all parts of sets. But once we go like before 2020, then it starts to get to the really older ones, which are just expensive because they're rare. So this one's going to be very awkward. He's already done 7,000 sales. I can't help but assume it's going to probably be close to about 25,000, 30,000 sales. And I don't think it's going to hold, because I think there's going to be far too many of these that are bought compared to actual genuine demand. It might be oversaturation, or it might be a case of people just won't find it so funny anymore. In all fairness, it is goofy. It is silly. Now, I can understand that every now and then they'll accept something like this. A nice use of creativity with the transparency there. But I can still see potential problems that there's still going to be far too many of them that are bought. So feel free to comment what you think about that. Is it going to last? Or will we see some other Boonie Hats in the future that are going to outdo it? Or maybe we'll see the likes of a Poncho and some other primitive skins that could work very nicely with this. We've got to keep an eye out for what Mr. VHS Tonight's going to do next. I don't know. But what I can do is keep an eye on here or here. All right? So we'll see what happens next. But I'm leaning more towards unsure. All right? Okay. Snakebite Sleeping Bag. A green sleeping bag. That sounds okay, but it glows in the dark. That's a problem. If you're going to put this outside, people are going to spot it. Yes, it's just the eyes. It's just the eyes. However, when I show you this, you can kind of spot the eyes pretty easily, can't you? So, yeah. And then the problem is that, well, if you're going to have it indoors in your base, I mean, you probably want to have a brighter sleeping bag, wouldn't you? So, basically, when you're in the early stages of setting up your base, it's very useful to have glow-in-the-dark deplorables, because if you ain't got any electricity, if you ain't got a fireplace or run out of wood, oh no, your glow-in-the-dark deplorables are going to help you navigate around when it's night time. So, yeah, this is kind of awkward for both indoors and outdoors. But I did relate to this with a skin that was also green that glowed in the dark. So if I go back to the past, I reminded myself earlier of the Firefly sleeping bag. And I basically said the exact same thing when I first saw it. And earlier today, I looked at it once more, and it's actually doing okay. It's not doing that bad. Now, I would love to show it if it actually loaded it up. So maybe I'll just go search for it myself. Come on, SC, man, what's going on? Firefly sleeping bag. Part of the Fireflies collection, there are a few skins that were accepted, but sleeping bag is what I'm here to talk about. So, you might notice it's green. There we are, thank you. I don't know what took forever. It's got low quantity as well, but I just took a look at sales history. When times are good, summertime, goes up in price. When times are bad, when it's, of course, the likes of autumn, fall, seasonal dip, it goes down. When it's post-Christmas, it goes up. And then recently, it's actually been going up. Loads of skins recently have, in fact, been rising up in price. It does appear to be that we're out of the worst of the Easter dip. So that right there has been fairly stable. It's done very well. It did 20,000 sales. So if you are looking at the likes of the, the Snakebite Sleeping Bag, I respect it. It's a cool looking design. Sunart did a very nice job. Get a good look at the GIF as they slowly build it up. Yeah, I think it could still work out all right. And I don't think it'll do 20,000 sales. I think it might be a-okay. It might just turn out to be reasonably okay, but I'm still doubting the glow in the dark, all the other things. And of course, if it is going to behave exactly like the Firefly sleeping bag, it is expected to still go below its rust or price at some point. So that definitely feels like maybe I just want to stick with doing a buy order. But if it sells significantly less, that would be different, wouldn't it? That's got me thinking. So smart choice, wait until Wednesday. It's abnormal. Every single skin that you see here is abnormal this week, except the AK. So let's now move on to talking about the likes of the prototype SAR. I did show off the SAR and the AKs earlier, just to show how, with all the recent skins that we've seen, the vast majority of them aren't exactly doing super great. And yes, this is a continuation of the AK that we saw not too long ago. Surprise, surprise, that's actually gone up in price. But there's only 7 of them on the Steam market. I guess someone jumped in and bought out all the stock, because earlier that was selling for like $1.30. So, okay. This is a continuation of the AK. AK didn't do very well for a significant amount of time. Suddenly today it goes up. The highest bar is still $1, as you can see. Yeah, someone cleared them all out. Right, so people did not care about the AK for a fairly decent amount of time that was available. But now we've got the SAR, and, well, what do you think? I don't hate it. I see nothing wrong with it. I respect the design, all the wires, it's all wrapped around and whatnot. That's cool. We don't really see many skins like this. But is this still going to keep like people's attention? So if I can just quickly remind yourself of all the SAR skins that we've had over the past year or so, from what do you see? Look, what do you see here? They're not doing good. Yet we've had the likes of the low poly SAR. Well, that's low poly. Dragon SAR, that's down 96 cents. Ooh, Blackstone SAR, that's only down by a little bit. That's actually doing quite all right. Skullforce SAR, it's halved in price. Yeah, and then you got all of these ones over here. It's awkward. It's really awkward. So, with what I see here, $2.49, do I ever see this going below its store price? Yes. Will it do a decent enough job to kind of stick around $2? I'm questioning it. But will it even sell that much? I think it might do just about over 10,000 sales from based on what I see at the moment, but, I mean, it's too early to tell, to be honest, at the moment. So, with the state of that, I lean more towards, I think I'd just stick with doing a buy order, because I do expect it to go below its store price. So yeah, I'm not as confident with that SAR skin. And then we have the Apocalypse Nomad AK-47. I am very conflicted with this. I haven't left this last because I think it's the worst one. I am conflicted because it's like a 50-50 split. Like completely. So looking at this Apocalypse Nomad AK-47, by default, if people were to just see that, I know many of them would just think nah or meh or whatever. But if you can kind of respect that the design is all based around the hazmat suit, the Nomad hazmat suit, damaged, scarred, water, you get the idea. It's all in reference to the very dingy, horrible looking hazmat suit. Now, horrible in the theme of it and whatnot. So there's also the aim sight with a bit of transparency so you can just see a little bit more. Yes. Now, I don't think everybody is aware of that. But is it really that much of a difference? Is it going to really make that much of a difference to cause that to become super valuable? Probably not, but I will sit here and say, at the rate it's selling, it's probably not going to be selling that much. It might just barely do 10,000 sales. But we must remind ourselves of the MP5 that was basically the same. It's still down by 31%. So I'm so conflicted. I can see that having a nice turnaround if people did become more aware of its aim site. But yeah... Is it the actual texture that people don't like? Now, I should just also clarify, if you go to the likes of the workshop, the Skin Creators Workshop, they did in fact try to make the likes of hoodie and pants, and again, it's not super flashy, it's not super colourful, it's all in reference to the likes of the Nomad hazmat. It's supposed to look like damaged and grimy and grungy and whatnot. We don't get that many skins like that anymore, do we? More down to earth. Nothing like Rainbow Pony and whatnot. You get the idea of what I'm trying to say. So, I don't know. I'd rather just wait and see, but that's also not abnormal. So now that's also a problem. If it sells hardly anything, I might actually consider doing either a very strong buy order or maybe even consider making a purchase. I don't know. I'm conflicted. So that's why I left this last. I don't know what to think about it in regards to that. Feel free to comment, say your opinions. But, yeah, I'm just going to have to wait on it a bit longer, see how many sales have happened, and then make a decision around Wednesday or Thursday. Right, so that was all the skins, and I just wanted to make reference to this. I kept saying it many, many times. Could you please consider watching this video over here? Basically, as I mentioned, it does appear that we are now past the likes of the rust dip, the worst of the rust dip. Many prices did go down, But for many, many skins that you'll see in the Steam market, they have stagnated and now they're starting to trend upwards. That's good. So give this a good watch to get a good understanding of the whole situation. And I should still point out, we are still potentially going to see the likes of the, well, of course we will, the 75% discount for the sticker capsules for CS2 Major. The tournament is over. We just had the Champions capsule come out recently, and it's expected at bare minimum, maybe at least next week, we will see the actual 75% discount appear. That means many stickers are going to get cheap, and that means many people very likely will be selling their stocks to try and get them. So we'll see what happens, okay? There might be another dip that might happen, but I don't expect it to last very long. All skins at the moment are pushing towards improving. They are rising up in price. And as I said, once we hit around the summertime, it is expected that we're going to see a nice rise in the player count, whether it's average or, peaks, we'll see. And today, just to clarify, we did 155,000. It's lower here, but on the actual Steam charts, it's 155,000. So let's see if it gets beaten over the course of the next few days over this weekend. So cool. Things look good for Rust at the moment. We had a very nice force wipe update, what with the changes to the harbour and, of course, the cargo and whatnot, along with the weapons that are added, the minigun and the flamethrower. Let's see what's next. I know bikes are still being worked on. And, well, the only way you're going to be able to keep yourself informed is keeping an eye on the commits right here. All right, so I'll link that in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Hope it was all insightful. And remember what I said, keep an eye on the workshop. But if you don't have a full Adolphus list set up, consider giving Mr. Micro's website a look. And again, that'll be in the description. Thank you very much. Catch you later. Best of luck for your investments. Cool, bye.